Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Eric from Tech. In front of me, I've got 4 of the most powerful gaming smartphones out in the market right now. Starting from the left, I've got the NUBIA Redmagic 6 Pro, the ASUS ROG Phone 5, the Lenovo Legion Pro 2, and the Xiaomi Black Shark 4 Pro. A lot of you guys were asking me on the channel which of these 4 gaming phones were the best. So I decided to come up with a series of videos where I show you the performance of each of these phones in some of the hottest games. So for this video guys, I'm going to be running GENSHIN IMPACT and I'm going to be measuring the average frames per second that each of these phones get, as well as measuring the temperature to see how hot each of these phones get when running this demanding game. So what are we waiting for guys? Let's get this GENSHIN IMPACT test going. So I guess you noticed guys, I've got 4 coolers and 4 phones here. So that means I'm going to be doing the test first without any cooler, and then I'm going to be running it with the coolers designed for the phone. So for the Redmagic 6 Pro, it's going to be the dual core cooler. The ROG Phone 5 will have the Aero Active Cooler 5. Lenovo hasn't released an external cooler yet, so I'm going to be using the Fun Cooler Pro 2. And in the Black Shark 4 Pro, I'm going to be running the Fun Cooler Pro 1. You're probably asking me why I'm going to be using the Fun Cooler Pro 1 on the Black Shark 4 Pro. In terms of cooling, the Fun Cooler Pro 2 and the Fun Cooler Pro 1 actually goes down to the same temperature. It's just the fit on the phone that's the difference. So it doesn't matter if I'm going to be using the Fun Cooler Pro 2 or the Fun Cooler Pro 1 on the Black Shark 4 Pro. Both of these coolers are compatible and is built to be attached to the Black Shark 4 Pro. So before we start, just some specs on the phone. So all of these phones right here have 12GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 256GB of UFS 3.1 storage. So for this test, I'm going to be keeping them at their max refresh rate. So that will be 165Hz on the Redmagic 6 Pro and 144Hz on everything else. Alright guys, so I'm starting off with the Lenovo Legion 2 and I'm going to be doing a 30-minute test. So let me just turn on the recording now. And just so you know guys, I've set it on Rampage mode and I've got the turbo fan at the highest setting. So it should be at the maximum fan speed.
Come a little closer. No escape. Witness the power of Gua. Let's spark things up a little. No, my sword! Time to act. Body and mind.
Alright guys, 30 minutes in, let's measure the final temps on screen. 52.2, pretty hot in the middle guys. 46 and 46. So hottest part of the phone of the Lenovo Legion Pro 2 on the display is in the middle. And at the back, not too bad, 48.3, 43, and 43. So it's the middle part that heats up the most because all the heat generating components or the chip itself is in the middle. And in terms of battery guys, I started off at 98% and I'm now down to 69%. So that's 29% gone in just 30 minutes. So it's kind of equating to 1% per minute when playing in Rampage mode. I'll exit out and let the phone cool down so I'll be ready for the next test with the cooler. Alright guys, so it's the ROG Phone 5 next. I've enabled X mode, of course, and I'm going to be running GENSHIN IMPACT through the Armory console. Alright, 30-minute GENSHIN IMPACT test with the ROG Phone 5 next. So, start recording now.
No, my sword! Prepare to be blown away! Let's spark things up. Go, Baron! Here! Go, Baron Buddy! You've been a naughty boy. Surrender and I'll be gentle. Here.
Alright guys, 30 minutes in, and let's measure the temps. So on the front, 52 in the middle, 45, and 46. So the middle is the hottest part again, same as the Lenovo Legion 2. And at the back, 44 and 43. So around 50.1 at the back. So I'll exit out and I'll let the phone cool down, and we'll start off with the next phone, which is the Redmagic 6 Pro. Alright guys, 30-minute test for the Redmagic 6 Pro is up next. So let's start the recording now.
Let it rain! No, my sword! No escape! Try not to enjoy this too deep. Hey, get him! Blink! The more, the merrier. Look at me. Just once. Let me weave you a bird.
Alright guys, 30 minutes in, Redmagic 6 Pro. Let's see some temperatures. 45 in the top, 42 in the middle, and 9.8. So the hottest part of the phone was at the top. Now at the back, 40 in the middle, 39 on the top, 38. So it's pretty cool overall, guys. And we'll move on to the last phone on the list, which is the Black Shark 4 Pro. Alright guys, the Black Shark 4 Pro now, and I've launched Shark Space, and let me launch Genshin Impact. So let's start it now.
Try not to enjoy this too much. Rain outlines your
Alright guys, 30 minutes done with the Black Shark 4 Pro. Let's measure some temperatures. 44 at the top, 47.8 in the middle, 42.8 now at the back, 4.3 in the middle, 49.5 under the camera, 41.9. So I'll show the temperatures later on, but I'm going to let the phones cool down and then I'll start the test with the external coolers. Alright guys, so the next part of the test is with the phone attached to the cooler. So the only cooler that works with the Lenovo Legion Pro 2 is the Black Shark Fun Cooler Pro 2. As you can see here, it's a frosty 3 degrees right now. So let's attach it now. So there you go, doesn't hit the power button. Let's make sure Rampage mode is on and Turbo Fan is set to high speed mode.
You're in for a little shock. Try not to. No escape. Starball. No one escapes that sight. Rain outlines your. No, my sword. Leave it up.
Alright guys, 30 minutes done with the Lenovo Legion 2 attached to the Fun Cooler Pro 2. Temperature is only hitting 16 degrees, so that's a pretty cool temperature guys. So the temperature at the middle of the phone is around 44.8 degrees, at the top it's 39.8, 39.5 on the bottom. So on the initial test without the cooler, the temperature on the front of the display on the middle part here was actually hitting 52.2 degrees, and now it's hitting 44.8. So that's a big drop in the temperature, guys. So the Phone Cooler Pro 2 is one of the better external coolers that is compatible with the Lenovo Legion 2. So I'll exit out again. So I'll do the test first with the Phone Cooler Pro 2 and the ROG Phone 5 and leave the Aero Active Cooler 5 test as last. ROG Phone 5, let's turn on Next mode and let's launch GENSHIN IMPACT and let's attach the cooler next. So the design of the Phone Cooler Pro 2 is pretty good because it makes perfect contact with the back of the phone, and because of that gap on the rubber clip, it doesn't touch the power button, so it's perfectly in the middle, but it's going to block that side USB port.
Leave it all to me. Try not to enjoy this too much. Rain cutter. Hip, hip. Ha! Dip. Hip, hip. Hip. Dip. Ha! Hip. Time to clean up. No one escapes my sights. No one escapes my sights.
Okay guys, 30 minutes done on the ROG Phone 5 with the Phone Cooler Pro 2. Temperature is just at 17 degrees, so it's keeping the ROG Phone 5 pretty cool, guys. So let's measure some temperatures here. At the front, 43.3, 37, 37. So let's remove the cooler and measure the temperature at the back. 23.7, guys. So that's a pretty cool temperature, and the phone didn't get too hot at all during that 30-minute gaming session. So the Phone Cooler Pro 2 is really making its case in being one of the best coolers to have on your phone. So we've done the Lenovo 2, we've done the ROG Phone 5, let's move on to the Redmagic 6 Pro. Alright guys, so for the third test with the cooler, I'll be doing the test with the Redmagic 6 Pro, and I'm going to be using the NUBIA Redmagic dual core cooler because of the curved back. This is actually a better fit on the Redmagic 6 Pro. So let me attach it. Alright guys, so the dual core cooler is attached right in the middle, and I've turned on the NUBIA Game Center, and let me launch GENSHIN IMPACT. Okay, so I'll start recording in 3, 2, 1.
Let me weave you a verse. Let it rain. Time to clean up. Escapes my sights. Try not to enjoy this. Go, go, berry buddy! gentle. No, my sword.
Alright guys, 30 minutes done with the Redmagic 6 Pro and the Redmagic dual core cooler. So let's check out some temperatures. 42.5 at the top, 38 in the middle, 36.6. So if I remove the dual core cooler and let's check the temperatures at the back. 35 in the middle, 38.3 in the top, and 34.5 at the bottom. So overall, it was a more pleasant experience playing Genshin Impact with the coolers. Because my fingers didn't get too hot, I didn't feel it burning at any time. It did get pretty warm, but not as hot as it did without the coolers. So let me turn off Genshin Impact. Then I'll attach the Phone Cooler Pro 2 with the Black Shark 4 Pro, and then the final test will be the ROG Phone 5 with the Aero Active Cooler 5. Alright guys, so final test, Black Shark 4 Pro. I've already attached the Phone Cooler Pro 2 and you can see the temperatures are going down. It's at 10 degrees right now, and I've loaded up Genshin Impact again. Recording now.
Steady as stone. Witness the power of the one. Let's spark things up.
Alright guys, 30 minutes done with the Black Shark 4 Pro and the Phone Cooler Pro 2. So let's check temperatures. 38.3 in the middle, 37.3 in the top, 34.2 at the bottom. So let's check out the temperatures at the back. It's 15 degrees, and if I remove the front cooler, I see the temperature 21.5. So this is the coolest back that I've seen because this is a perfect fit with the Black Shark 4 Pro. So I'll turn it off now. And of course, you'll see the results later on in the video, but I've got one final test to do, and that is with the ROG Phone 5 and its Aero Active Cooler 5. So let's see how this fares in a stress test with Genshin Impact. Alright guys, final test of the day will be the ROG Phone 5 with the Aero Active Cooler 5. So let me attach it. And the good thing about the Aero Active Cooler 5 is it doesn't need an external power source, so it gets the power directly from the phone. And with the ROG Phone 5 6000 mAh battery, it should be able to handle the additional power that the fan would need. So you can see here it's on X Mode Plus. X Mode Plus is only possible when you've got the Aero Active Cooler 5 attached. So let's run Genshin Impact again. Final test of the day, let's start recording.
For a little shock. You've been a naughty boy. Don't be such a brute. Let it rain. No one escapes my sight. Starball. Let it rain. Here.
Okay guys, 30 minutes in, ROG Phone 5 with the Aero Active Cooler 5. So let's see the temperatures on the front. So temperatures at the front guys, 49.6. So let's remove the Aero Active Cooler 5 and see the temperatures. 42.3. So temperatures are a bit lower than they were without the cooler. Alright guys, so test is done and these are the results. Let me put up the results from the 4 phones on the first test without the cooler. In terms of the average frames per second, the big winner here is the Redmagic 6 Pro with an average frames per second of 58.3, followed by the Lenovo Legion 2 at 56.6. Third place is the ROG Phone 5 with 54.3, and the Black Shark 4 Pro is in last place with 54. And in terms of power usage, the Lenovo Legion 2 actually used 10 watts of power while the rest of the phones only used around 8 watts. So that means you're using a lot of power in order to run the game. It could attribute to the 2 fans that it's actually using. The Redmagic 6 Pro only has 1 internal fan. In terms of the CPU temperature measured, the Lenovo 2 actually got to a scorching 64.1 degrees internally, followed by the ROG Phone 5 at 58.1 and the Redmagic 6 Pro at 48.7. For some reason, the Black Shark 4 Pro CPU temperature could not be read. So for the temperature test, I'll refer to the external temperature readings that I did after each test. So without the cooler, the hottest phone among the 4 is surprisingly the Lenovo Legion 2. The surface temperature on the display actually reached 52.2 degrees Celsius. And the coolest phone was the Redmagic 6 Pro, with a temperature of only 45 degrees Celsius on the top where it's the hottest and 42 degrees at the back. Things are different though when we apply coolers to each of the 4 phones. So for the 3 phones, the ROG Phone 5, the Lenovo Legion 2, and the Black Shark 4 Pro, I only used the Fun Cooler Pro 2. While on the Redmagic 6 Pro, I used the Redmagic Dual Core Cooler because this is built for the phone. So moving on to the second test where I attached coolers to the phones, it's a different story. The big winner here is the Lenovo Legion 2 with an average frames per second of 58.9, followed by the Redmagic 6 Pro that had a slight increase from 58.3, hit a 58.4 average frames per second. The Black Shark 4 Pro overtook the ROG Phone 5 in this test. It had an average of 58.3 frames per second, and the ROG Phone 5 only managed 57.7 frames per second. In terms of battery usage, the Lenovo Legion 2 is still very power hungry. It actually used 10 watts during the test, and Redmagic 6 Pro and ROG Phone 5 again used around 8 watts of power. But what's surprising here is that the Black Shark 4 Pro has the lowest power consumption among the 4, hitting only 7.6 watts. And in terms of internal CPU temperature, again, couldn't get a reading on the Black Shark 4 Pro. But the big loser here again is the Lenovo Legion 2 with a 56 degrees Celsius internal CPU temperature, followed by the Redmagic 6 Pro at 46.5. And the coolest phone that I can see where we can measure the temperature is the ROG Phone 5 with 43.7 degrees Celsius. In terms of surface or external temperatures though, the Black Shark 4 Pro is the big winner here. The surface temperature on the middle of the display is only 38.5 degrees Celsius, while at the back, just after removing the Fun Cooler Pro 2, I measured 21.5 degrees Celsius. So there is a trend here. The hottest phone among the bunch is the Lenovo Legion 2 with a surface temperature of 44.8 degrees Celsius. So that means that even when attaching the cooler, your hands will get pretty warm when using the Lenovo Legion 2. So to sum it up guys, the hottest phone without any kind of cooler is the Lenovo Legion 2. So even though it had those dual fans, it did get the hottest. While the ROG Phone 5 and the Black Shark 4 Pro did a good job in keeping temperatures around the 50 degrees Celsius mark, so it didn't go too high. While the Redmagic 6 Pro was the most impressive, where it kept temperatures in the mid 40s. And adding the cooler actually evened the playing field, with the Black Shark 4 Pro actually getting the coolest, because the cooler that I used, the Fun Cooler Pro 2, is designed to work specifically with the Black Shark 4 Pro. So there you have it guys, the most consistent performer among the 4 phones is still the Redmagic 6 Pro. Running with and without the cooler, it demonstrated a very high average frames per second, while the Lenovo Legion 2, even though it had dual fans, it actually only hit 56.6 frames per second when just using those internal fans. While the ROG Phone 5 and the Black Shark 4 Pro performed pretty much the same. So performance wise, not much of a difference between the ROG Phone 5 and the Black Shark 4 Pro with and without the cooler. So I'll go ahead and end this pretty long video here guys. I spent 30 minutes on each phone, so I spent the better part of the night putting these phones through the test. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the comment section down below on what improvements you think I could still do on these kind of tests. I still plan to do PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile in my list of games to test for these 4 phones. So your tips and recommendations would be appreciated guys. So stay tuned to the channel for those gaming comparison video guys. But until then, a sub would be massively appreciated. Please like and subscribe, hit that bell icon notification, and see you all on my next one.